Fundamentals of Magic. Abracadabra. Spellings vary. The origins of this word are debated between Hebrew, Aramaic, and several other possibilities. Early Gnostics, however, used this word in its essence to invoke beneficent spirits to aid them against disease and misfortune beginning in the 2nd century. The word was also found on Abraxas stones, and subsequent usage carried on through traditions. In these two depictions, the enchantment in ascension can mean, "I create as I speak." When descending, it can mean, "As my words disappear, so shall your influence." This mantra has been used throughout antiquity for a variety of intentions, such as catalysts for creation, protection, and warding off spirits and illnesses. Here's something interesting to consider. The most revealing definition of magic is the extension of one's will. One definition of will is mental powers manifested as wishing, choosing, desiring, or intending. Spelling is defined as the manner in which words are spelled. That's where things begin to get interesting. To spell. When you spell, you imagine a series of symbols that are associated with sound waves, and you form a sentence. When you spell your sentence out loud, the sound waves you create are cast into the space around you. When this utterance is perceived by something conscious, meaning can be interpreted. When applied to nature, your intention weaves your will into the essence of matter around you. If your will goes unopposed, it often will shape reality around your wishes, either by influence, reaction, or manifestation. As all is one, the universal consciousness transcends language and is interpreted by the elementals around you, which can affect the molecular structure and mental understanding of your environment and those within it. The intention behind your words and how you spell them is incredibly important. Sentence is defined as one or more words that expresses an independent statement, question, request, command, and exclamation, and to carry out an order. When you spell, you are literally spelling and forming a sentence. Words do not imply the power to create, but they do hold the power to do so. When a sentence is intended to carry out your will, you are casting a spell. For example, if you intend to make someone happy, you will spell nice words at them. If you intend to make someone feel bad, you curse at them or spell negative words at them. It is said in many cultures that curses only work if the cursed believe that it is true or possible. Curses plant the seeds of thought and doubt into the victim's mind. And this is why casually cursing at someone is very negative, especially if they are likely to believe what you say could be true. The definitions of a curse. A solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. Also, a coarse or blasphemous word or phrase used to express anger or other strong emotion. Does this sound familiar? This behavior is a negative extension of one's will. Many people disbelieve in magic because their wishes never seem to manifest. One crucial element to most forms of magic is that oneself must act upon opportunity or create opportunity in order to make their wishes come true. Any spell that relates to a desire for a specific outcome must not only be wished, but also manifested. Magic does the work of creating opportunity through synchronized events. By pushing your will into your environment, the environment will respond in an attempt to coordinate with you. If you are not paying attention due to being impatient or otherwise distracted, you may well miss the opportunities that come your way. Words hold power, and every action is an extension of our will. By definition, you cast spells just by speaking and by simply taking action. While common phrases often appear to have a simple purpose, the implications can be much deeper when you apply a keen eye to our clever use of language. The old adage, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me," is actually an anti-hex or protection spell. The speaker declares that no verbal spell may affect them in direct response after someone spells something mean at them. It's a phrase from oral tradition that we've taught our children in order to protect their minds. Since the mid-1800s, the superficial explanation is that it serves to prevent further bullying and make children confident against mean speech. Upon further examination, we can see how the intention behind the phrase is, by definition, a spell. Most people wouldn't realize this, as the phrase is naturally taught to children as they grow up. Magic is inherent. It is the act of manipulating the world around us to serve our needs, be they positive or negative, intentional or unintentional. Your actions define who you are right now, as every action is an extension of your will. This subtle manipulation of our environment is necessary on a very basic survival level. Any negative manipulation beyond those basic common needs should be observed carefully, whether it is conscious or unconscious. Cooking is another interesting process regarding magic and survival. Cooking is the alchemical process of sacrificing nature, gathering earth-based ingredients, and breaking them down into portions. We often purify these pieces of earth or spirit, such as plants, minerals, and animals, with fire or heat, and often synthesize them with water and animal byproducts. We learn how these elements will combine together in nutrient, texture, and flavor. You consume this to transmute what once was living into sustenance, so you may continue enacting your will. There are many forms of magic and many cultural institutions surrounding the art form. We humans have abilities often beyond our understanding. However, when we align with the natural state of being, we unlock the door of understanding. We only have to listen to nature and our inner self. You may have heard people refer to color magic, such as black magic, white magic, and so on. While these descriptions create an image of negative and positive by popular use, these notions are highly superficial. The idea of magic being negative or positive based on color is inaccurate, simply because the intention behind one's will is the driving force of all magic. Colors can conjure very important symbolism in the mind of the practitioner, as each color is commonly associated with a specific feeling or theme. Black is commonly associated with protection in modern-day use, as opposed to the older notion implying sinister intent. We hold the power to manipulate mentally and physically. This applies to material objects and living beings. However, manipulation of other beings can create a host of issues and should be limited to desperate situations rather than doing it out of convenience. Over-manipulation of material resources can also unbalance our environments and cause negative effects for nature and its inhabitants. Defensive actions are almost always more justified than offensive actions. This is equally true with magic, in my opinion. Finding a balance where you fit into nature and civilization is key to maintaining a healthy mind, body, spirit, and society. We can send our thoughts across the ocean of atoms in the forms of telepathy for wireless communication. Telekinesis extends our will to touch objects out of reach by manipulating the atoms around us with our thought vibrations. Like making waves in a body of water and bending these waves to interact with our environment, we hold the power to both harm and heal. In today's age of smartphone technology, we essentially hold wizard staves in our pockets. These devices harness the forces of nature beyond imagination. It is the culmination of thousands of years of technological advancement, engineering experiments, alchemy, mining, and testing of vibration, frequency, synthesizing metals and minerals, and the art of bottling lightning, the sulfuric lead acid battery and salt lithium ion battery. We are now more than ever able to take for granted the power we hold and the ways we use it. We have unlimited information at our fingertips: instant communication, thought recording, image capturing, music, books, entertainment, and the ability to manipulate other people's thoughts and emotions. All of this is instantly accessible and at our fingertips. We are also constantly bombarded by manipulative advertisements, biased perspectives through corporate networks, social movements, and hierarchical political campaigns. It is important that you always listen to what people are saying you should believe, and that you understand what you believe before you decide to allow the will of others to influence you. Powerful and manipulative people have the right connections to convince large numbers of people to align with what they are trying to achieve. Sometimes these efforts are made in the spirit of positive outcomes for all. Sometimes they are made to benefit a very specific group of people, which isn't always in the best interest of you. Remember that actions speak louder than words. This is a cautionary reminder that you do not need to speak to act upon will. Every thought and action holds consequences, good and bad. You must be willing to accept either outcome when you act with carelessness. For most people, properly prepared spells require time, focal points to remind you of your intention, and some sort of sacrifice, be it energy, ingredient, or other meaningful symbolism. Chaos magic, in its most basic sense, is simply the ability to extend your will to great effect without needing any objects, specific rituals, or deities to channel your focus into intention. People who are driven to do something and are skilled in making things happen tend to exhibit this ability, regardless if they realize it is magic. Use your power wisely. Only manipulate for what you truly need, for manipulation is one of the most destructive forces we can access. It is necessary to some degree for basic survival, and unchecked, it can be toxic. Be kind. Karma, if nothing less, is the sum of all deeds coming back to aid you or hinder you, depending on how you've spent your time in this life or the past. Be patient. Only in haste will you act with aggression, malice, or destructive force. Be still often, for only movement can carry out the physical will of the spirit or human. Therefore, to be still is to be like Godhead. Do no harm, take no shit. Be beautiful inside, and conscious nature will see you exactly so. Written by Samuel Robert Scott IV.